Lori Houston's News for the Heart is dedicated to helping you give a voice to your own soul. Our hearts have the power to free us from pain and the struggles that keep us from awakening to our true essence. Join Lori now as we delve into our heart and soul to find the path that will open us to the possibilities and lead us to the life we love to live.
And good afternoon. This is News for the Heart. And we are getting the matters of the heart with Tom Campbell. And, you know, we're at the, can't believe December is in like a couple days. This will come out probably around the 1st of December. So, and yeah, it's always fun to have, I don't know, for me, it's always a good show because I always enjoy talking about this time of year, the holidays and the special energy that comes with it and the magic that comes with it. But first, welcome to the show, Tom.
Thank you, Lori. It's my pleasure to be here. Hopefully my croaky voice won't be too much of a problem. But
well, it is what it is, right?
It is what it is. It can't be any different.
Exactly. So I was talking to Tom before we started, and for me, this is always, I don't know, I connect in with the magic of the season. It's an energy to me. Maybe I'm connecting with the love and the kindness. The ironic part is, for me as a child, I mean, I usually had a lot of disappointments. I'd get excited and I enjoy that energy and I'd feel that energy. And then Christmas would come and I wouldn't be so excited. But I still feel that energy. And to now, really doesn't matter to me. I try and connect in with that energy as often as I can. I have a little tea that I have that's called Santa's Secret. Pretty much have it every day. And it just reminds me, I smell the scents of vanilla and mint and tiny little candy canes. And it just reminds me of Christmas. And so as we approach this season, even though my partner is not at all interested in Christmas, for me, it's still magic. It's still something that I feel, no, I can connect in with that energy. And I feel so much joy from it. I don't know if I'm connecting with the children and their joy. But for me, it's just me, just connecting in with that energy. And so I thought, again, we would talk about, what it means for us to connect in with the love, especially when it's so available at this time because of the kids, because of the excitement. I mean, obviously Christmas isn't everybody's holiday. But for a major majority, certainly in North America, it's our holiday. But it's just a time when I just get very joyful. I don't know how to explain it, but to me, it's just about magic of the season. So let's talk about that, Tom.
Let's, that would be a good feeling and a good thing to connect with all year long. Mm-hmm. That sounds like it's a really nice space to be in. And I don't personally, relate to Christmas that way generally because it's mostly commercial and it's about people and going to see my grandkids and enjoying their joy, their happiness and that sort of thing. But as soon as you mention it, I can tune into the exact same thing. It feels just like you describe it. You can just tune into to Christmas, and it does. And now I'm wondering, where does that come from? I think it's probably tuning into the potential of Christmas.
There it is.
What Christmas could be for everyone. So that's would be my first thought of this, of where is this energy that we're tuning into? But it was very simple to tune into it. I just thought about Christmas, some kind of Christmas energy field. What does it feel like? And yes, it's lovely. It's happy. You can hear children giggling. It's just very pleasant. Kind of makes you want to smile and feel good. Yeah. And then my second thought was, wow, let's do this more often. Don't have to wait for Christmas. We do this every day of the year. might be a wonderful way to start off your morning as you were having that cup of coffee or orange juice or whatever you do in the morning. You could take about 5 minutes and explore the Christmas feeling, even if it's July. It would be nice. It's a very good idea. I think I will tune into this particular vibe more often, just because it leaves you in such an upbeat, positive.
That giving, that joy, like just so sweet.
Yeah, great. It's a beautiful space. I've never particularly touched that space. So good. I'm glad you taught me something today. That kind of space is just out there. It's just out there for us to enjoy. I think it's probably the potential, what we could be, how Christmas could be for everybody, and how every day could be this way for everybody. That's even better.
Yeah.
So it is nice. And I think in general, people do contact this energy that we're talking about, but they don't have much to say about it. It's not an intellectual thing. I think it's outside the intellect. It's over on the intuitive side of them, and they feel it, and it feels nice and it feels good. So they go out, spend more money, buy more things, because that's what you do when you feel good. So it's very nice.
How did we get there? I mean, yes, when you feel good, you want to share it with people.
Yeah, but you want other people, to feel that feeling. You want suddenly it's like, well, that thing my grandchild asked for, it wasn't that expensive. I could get it for him. You feel more like giving and being full of cheer and stuff yourself. And our Christmas just mostly is about stuff and presents. So let's take that and make as much joy and love and peace out of that as we can. Just because the present giving has become almost mechanical, that doesn't mean that it's not fun or not nice, either one. It depends on what you bring to it. It's not that Christmas brings some some special energy that makes us feel better. That energy's always there. I'm sure of it. We could just feel better whenever we wanted to. Just feel the love, feel the caring in the world. Feel all the people who are happy to be with whoever they're with. And all the people who are happy to have a warm place to go to at night. And I guess you can think about the sad people that don't have a place that is warm to go to tonight. But hopefully they find shelter somewhere. So, a nice idea. I don't see it as I explored the space immediately. I didn't see anything limiting it to Christmas. I guess is why I said that. It just seemed to be there. Good energy. It feels good. This is a good mantra, to put you in that space.
Right.
Yeah, that's excellent. Add this to some of my training courses that I do for people,
Right.
Find some joy in everyday life. Feel the joy that's out there. Sure, ugliness is out there, but that doesn't mean there isn't joy out there too. Turn the ugliness off and, turn up the volume on the loveliness. Just kind of bathe in that for a little while. Everything feel better.
Yeah. It's a beautiful feeling. I don't know. It always just feels so angelic, joyful. I don't know. I don't think it has necessarily anything to do with Christianity or Jesus. But maybe it does. Maybe that's where the energy started. I don't know. But it's just a beautiful, just a blanket.
It's nice. Yeah, that's the way I see it too. I don't think it has a particular roots in anything other than love.
Yeah.
It's just, you want to experience some love? Well, just think about it. Just be it and open yourself to it, and there it is. What a wonderful way to help you get over those times that are difficult in your life. Imagine that, things aren't working right, and things aren't going right. I've had a whole string of those the last couple of months. Seems like my house is just turned 30, and there's all kinds of aches and pains, and actually it's just turned about 35 or something. But I've just systems are failing, everywhere. So it's just the age where original things stop working. So we've, for the last month or two, this stopped working. Oh no, well, that's expensive, but we have to get a new one of those right away. Oh, this stopped working and that stopped working. And I tried to turn on the lights and the lights wouldn't come on.
No.
Yeah. Oh, the refrigerator, ice maker just leaked water, and now the ceiling and the floor below fell down, and there's a wet mess. Oh, rats have been chewing my wires, and the water that came from the refrigerator started a fire. Oh no. It's just, all of this stuff, that all happens at once.
Wow.
So when you have all that, I just kind of take it as it comes. It's stuff happens, you get to deal with it. But I can see that having this nice little energy that's just full of love and sweetness, even texture, it just feels nice, sort of like fur, it just has that nice feel to it.
Warm, snuggly blanket. Yeah, just like it encompasses. Yeah.
Well, let's just hold on to it. If we can't hold it until Christmas, at least. So that's another month. A little less than a month, but close. Yeah, there's a nice energy. And I think people who really enjoy Christmas probably do plug in to this sort of feeling and this energy. And they really do get pleasure out of the things they give and the reactions of their, like me, grandchildren. A grandchild that's like, 6 years old, they get something that they've always wanted, but nobody will get for them. And finally they get it. And just the look on their face, they jump up and down, they squeal, they do all this stuff. And it's just so delightful because it's so honest. Yeah. It's coming from an honest place.
Yeah.
Not that fake. Oh, it's just what I wanted. Yeah. No, it's none of that, but it's the emotional connection that the children have to Christmas is fun.
Yeah. Well, now we know why Tom's voice is off. His whole house is dropped.
Yes, something like that. I've been living in a very dusty environment.
You can tell.
Yeah, when the people had to move pipes in a cement pad, and they had to get jackhammers and bust up concrete, and that just put clouds. And then with the fire and the water damage, now sawing wood and going to have to resand all the hardwood floors and that sort of thing, which makes huge dust. I'm just living in this dusty environment, and the throat right in here just doesn't like all those wood particles and concrete particles and all the rest of that stuff. It just doesn't like it. So I too will get over it. I'll come out the other side. But, I went to Costa Rica.
Oh.
A couple of weeks ago.
How was that?
I liked it. It was good. I got this letter in the mail, and they said, how would you like to come to Costa Rica for a week? All expenses paid, including your travel, food, lodging, and all you have to do is talk for 1 minute on whatever subject turns you on, whatever subject you want. So I thought, is this a scam? Somebody
I would have thought.
Kidnap me in Costa Rica and then require ransom money? Or, what is this? But it was just exactly what they said, and it was lovely.
Huh. So they wanted you to
just talk about consciousness.
Of course. Yes.
They wanted me to talk about consciousness. And the place was full of artists, all kinds of artists. There were painters who were all the way around the periphery of this big room we were in, and they all started with a big canvas about 4 or 5 feet by maybe 2.5 feet, and they started painting. And by the end of the week, they were just done. There were probably 50 musicians there, just playing music.
Nice.
Not because they had to, but because they wanted to. So it was a very interesting time.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in Costa Rica when my house almost burned down, and all the and all the rest of that stuff happened. I wasn't even here.
Wow. Oh, you weren't even here. Whoa. That's
You know,
scary. Wow. But that's kind of
girl that keeps my dog, he did send Pamela a message and says your ice makers aren't acting right. Well, that didn't give us a whole lot of worry. That's not really a big problem. So we didn't think much about it. But the truth was the ice makers were pouring water on the floor that was soaking electrical circuits that were bare wire. And but for 30 seconds, I would have come home from Costa Rica to a big pile of ashes.
Whoa. Wow. Well, that's a good thing you had someone there then.
Yeah.
Or wow.
Good that somebody there that could deal with it right away. Yeah, it is an interesting story, but it's not a good story to talk on Laurie Houston's, it's all about love message. But in any case, yes.
But at least you had a little bit of magic while you were away.
Oh, yes. The whole thing was magic. All of it. There were all these, the house is 35 years old, and all of the wiring needed to be updated. It wasn't in code anymore. The codes get better and better, and the equipment gets better and better. So it needed to be done. But, like most things, unless something happens, you don't do anything. Oh, it worked okay last year. It'll probably work okay next year. But there was a whole lot of maintenance that needed to be done, and I didn't know about it at all. So I happened to have the right person who was at my home at the time who took care of it and came out the other side with the whole new electrical system, and new parts, and updated it so that those things couldn't happen anymore. Got very, very clever, what do we call those things? Breakers, that would break if they found a spark. Suddenly there was a voltage change or a current change, and they would break if they had some power going out on ground, those kinds of things. And I didn't have any smart breakers in the house. They were all just old stuff that I don't know how old they were, but at least whoever, the guys that built my house, the contractors who built it, they didn't put it in. They didn't put the good stuff in if it was available, but I think it probably wasn't available for the most part. Anyway, I think the larger consciousness system, created the whole thing.
Right.
I had all these dangerous circuits. I had bad plumbing someplace that was likely to cause a lot of trouble. And all of these little disasters just uncovered all of that stuff that wasn't good and needed to be changed. So, I just said, thank you, LCS. My house almost burned down. I'm glad you didn't let the house burn down, but I found out a lot of things that needed to be changed. So I'm still working on those changes. So I see it as a very positive thing.
I'm sure. New updates.
This thing about love is true. If you really have a positive attitude, almost anything is positive. All right, my house almost burned down, but I think that's terrific because it, one, didn't burn down, and two, I learned a whole lot of changes that needed to be made to keep it from burning down in the future. So that was good.
Very good.
Good thing about it turned out.
Yeah.
Found a guy who is really honest and straightforward, who is really good at everything. You know, he's a plumber, he's an electrician, he's a carpenter.
Whoa.
He's
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, he does it all. And not only that, but he's got certification in all those fields.
Wow.
He's carrying, or he's a master electrician and a master carpenter and so on. So he's, yeah, so I wouldn't have run into him if it hadn't been for this either. He's a good guy to know, you know, when you own a house that needs maintenance, knowing somebody who really knows how to do that and do it well, who is honest and ethical, hard to find. I don't know about it in Canada, but where I live, that's a tough person to find.
Yep.
So it all turned out to be a very good.
And you didn't have to be there to experience it.
I didn't even have to be here to run around and go crazy with it now. Just right, my speakers aren't working. That's no big deal. And realize my house was catching on fire as I said that.
Wow. That's crazy.
I think that's one example that you'd think that, you know, somebody had all that happen to him would think, uh-oh, you know, what's wrong, you know? Why me? Why all this stuff happening at once? You know, the heat pumps all went belly up at the same time. So, you know, it's just one thing after the next. But before they went belly up, they ran water down the walls inside the house. So, but that's okay. We'll get new ones and we'll get better ones. And life's like that, you know. You can repair almost anything in a house.
Yeah.
That's my little experience in the last couple of days. It's been a little wild and crazy around here.
Crazy, yeah.
I've been on work crews most of the time. So feel good about it.
Like Costa Rica? Like, was it a beautiful, I've heard.
It was a lovely place. It's a jungle.
Yeah.
It's a rainforest. Yes. We were in this jungle environment with this very beautiful facility. The food was all organic and all at least vegan.
Nice.
I mean, at least vegetarian. They did offer fish because Costa Rica obviously has a lot of coastline for the amount of area of the country. So fishing is a thing there. But other than the fish, it was all organic and vegan. And it was delightful. The food was excellent. The people were all nice. I was surprised that after being there with about 100 and probably 150 people there in all, those doing programs and listening to programs and playing music were probably about 100 people. But being around 100 people who spent most of their time in one of two large rooms, I didn't hear a single word that was negative. I didn't hear a single complaint. You know, like my shower's not hot enough, or my shower's too hot, or I didn't get any soap, or, you know, you hear people complain about this stuff. But I was there for a full 7 days and didn't hear a single person complain about anything. It was kind of a unique experience.
Now, are they all, we have a lot of expats that went to Costa Rica when COVID hit because they didn't want to do any of the stuff that Canada was going through. But were they all living there, or were they coming in from?
Oh, they all came in from the outside. Many of them came in from Nashville.
Okay.
Was a man in Nashville who owns a music business.
Oh.
A very successful man in Nashville who has owned many successful businesses, but music is the latest. And he took all of his employees and their families to Costa Rica. Huh. And to keep them entertained, he had people like me giving talks on interesting topics. And there were at least three lectures a day. And all the artists are invited there also to do their art. There's a beautiful little place right in the middle of the jungle. So, yeah, when you look out now, you could see it was up on the hill, so you could see the ocean. It looked at the Pacific Ocean. You could walk down to the ocean. It was a very steep climb. The country's very hilly. A lot of those hills are steep. This was built right in the middle of those hills. So it was a lot of up and down when you walked around. But that was, yeah, it was just, these people were all just out of the USA, which made it very surprising that everyone was so positive.
Yeah.
It was a lovely time. Great, probably the best vacation I've ever had, and as far as relaxed, you didn't have to go to any event. You only had to go to the one that you were putting on, and that was just an hour. Other than that, they had this beautiful swimming pool, hikes that you could go on, other sorts of things that you could do in that area. So
Also,
somebody
you can
says
avoid all the things happening in your home.
well, my house is starting to burn down, right? Interesting. So if you get a letter in the mail that says, "Would you like to come to Costa Rica? All expenses paid for a week." All you have to do is speak 1 hour.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, very nice.
Might even say magical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the kind of things I see. Like that's what happened. Not anything near what you got, but I don't know. Like 3 years ago, Donna had contacted me from somebody had contacted her about a program that they were offering. And some of the one thing was my website, and I got my website done and changed. And then it was with a school, so it was part of their marks. And then the program changed a bit, and so it was just kids trying to supplement their income for school. But then they changed another program. Anyway, I just got news this week, or I've got 7 MBA students that are going to work with me on marketing. So it's like, oh, see, magic.
Yeah. We've always said that if you stay positive things happen to you. If you get rid of your fear and your ego and your beliefs, everything you need just is there when you need it. And life gets that way. And I know people who are out in their life struggling and struggling and struggling, and they're not happy, they're not fulfilled, they're miserable. That it's hard for them to believe that is the result of being positive, that that's a result of becoming love. But it is. And you don't have to do anything really to reap those kinds of benefits. You just have to be a good person. And if you are a good person, good things just happen to you. They have always, happened to me. And of course, people say, well, you're just lucky. But no, it's not that I'm just lucky. Luck isn't really a thing. I think positively, that helps. But life is that way. So if you really are struggling in your life, it doesn't have to be that way. It's your fear that creates that struggle. And if you just let that struggle go and grow up, life gets to be really good. It gets to be amazing.
Yeah. But that's the thing. You just have to, people try to control it instead, right? It's like, well, this has to happen like this, and it's got to look like this, and I want it to have this much. Everybody's trying to control it. And if you just let go of, and then the universe, the larger conscious system, it can provide more than you ever even imagined. Like,
it does.
Think about it.
Yeah, it does indeed.
Yeah.
Actually knew how good life gets when you get rid of your fear. They try harder to get rid of their fear.
Right.
I don't think they really believe us when we say that that's the way the world works. When you live in a positive, caring, loving way, good things just fall in your lap. You don't have to work for them. And if it turns out the harder you work, sometimes the further behind you get. You want to change things. Oh, I'd be happy if I could just change this. I'd be happy if I could just change that. And then you work at changing those things, and that's usually just nothing but frustration.
Mm-hmm.
Changing the world in order to make you happy is just the wrong perspective. You got to change yourself in order to make you happy. The world is not what makes you unhappy. Although people who are self-centered and struggling, they believe it's the world that makes them unhappy. Something about the world, their friends, their spouses, or whatever, just humans in general, annoy them and make their life trouble. But that's not the case. Happiness comes from within, and misery comes from within. They both are inside jobs. Neither one is, you don't get either one from changing things on the outside. The changes have to all be on the inside. That's actually should be good news, because you don't have to be wealthy to do that. If we're changing things on the outside, you'd say, yeah, but I can't afford to change anything on the outside. Fortunately, it has nothing to do with resources. You can change things on the inside even if you're very poor.
Yeah. In fact, you could probably say that there are a lot of poorer people out there that are happier than most of the people.
I suspect that that's true. I knew some people like that, just some people that lived in a very small house, maybe, I don't know, most people live in like 1,000, 2,000 square feet, and this person probably lived in maybe 100 square feet. It wasn't much. It was 2 very small rooms. And they were poor, but they were wonderful people, happy people. Yeah. Yeah, Pamela and I visited them often. Mm. Yeah, we took our kids out there and play, and they had dogs. And they were some of our most valued friends, but they were just dirt poor, but just really, really super people. So, yeah, you don't have to rearrange the outside world in order to find peace and love and tranquility. You can find that by rearranging the inside world. That's much better. And what does any of this have to do with Christmas? Well, I think it's that same attitude, that exact same feeling that you get around Christmas time that says, okay, the world's kind of ugly, but it's got beauty in it too. It's got music in it. It's got lovely things in it and lovely people in it. Why don't we just kind of focus on that for a while? It is a nice place in some ways. Some ways it's not so nice. It's okay. You have to deal with all of that. It's your job here is to deal with things. So I think that Christmas spirit should be year-long spirit. And I think that the people who live in that Christmas spirit all year long probably are happy and do well. And life just, a trip to Costa Rica for a week, totally paid for, including the travel, just falls out of the sky and lands in front of your feet. But that's not that unusual. Things like that happen. Yeah. So, in any case, I didn't work for that. I didn't try to program it. I didn't try to do anything. I just try to be positive. And it happens all by itself. So keep that spirit, that Christmas spirit humming all year long. Find that sweetness in life. It's there. There's a lot of it there. Even in the people who are grumpy, You know, there's something about them that's really nice. If you dig in far enough, you'll find that most people do have a nice side. I mean, we're mostly a combination of fear and love. We have some of both, but just ignore the fear side and just look at the love side and enjoy that, and ignore the fear side if you can.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, is as much about Christmas as anything else. You know, Christmas is a time of giving to people out of just charity. It's a time of being helpful to others,
Yes.
to share, to sing, to get together in groups and play and have a good time. That's Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Time for me to watch the big grins on my grandchildren's face when they, they open all their presents.
Mm-hmm.
They're just fun. I can remember being that way. I can remember being, like 6 years old, and it was Christmas Eve, and that was about enough to kill you. Christmas Eve. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't sleep. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I remember that, and those were fun, glorious times, and to watch kids go through that, it's just a lot of fun. It brings those memories back. So there are nice things to think about and do. And if you don't have any grandkids, and maybe you don't have a spouse or children or any of that, you just are by yourself, well, make the most of that. Learn something. Spend the time growing. And you can meet people. Go to places where people are.
Mm-hmm.
But go to nice places where nice people are.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go to not nice places where not nice people hang out. That's not going to help you. Go to nice places. There's a lot of nice places around where nice people hang out. Go join a club someplace, whatever. Sewing or photography or cooking or who knows. There are clubs like that all over the place if you just look for them. People get together and basically do things and have fun. But even if you're alone, just a little bit of effort, you cannot be alone. You can be doing things that are fun and rewarding, and you'll find opportunities to be helpful. So I think we ought to do Christmas all year long with that kind of Christmas spirit. We had that same spirit of focus on what's positive and the glory in what's positive. That's wallow, right? Wallow in positivity.
There it is. There it is. That's what you do.
Look, life's so much better. Changes your attitude about it. Yeah, let's unpackage that Christmas spirit and keep it alive and perking all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always available. It's always there. I didn't know it was there until just today, but I know it's there now. And I've checked it out already while I was talking to you, and it's always going to be there. It's the positive things for people who want to engage in positive things.
Kind of feel like
What's next, Lori?
I know. I kind of feel like this is what we were working towards, and we feel good about this. We can just focus on that instead of worrying about all the things the bills that come in because we just spent a fortune on Black Friday or right? Like all those things that we worry about, and just it'll all work out. It always does. Why worry about it?
The reason we tend to worry is because we we not only need it to work out, but we try to we want to manipulate it to work out. What can I do to make it work out the way I want? How can I, if I do this, will this make it more likely or less likely? And we have all these plans and these ways that we're going to make all that stuff that we want. But trying to manipulate things to happen can work. You can manipulate things that'll happen, but mostly the things that happen under manipulation don't turn out to be really that good. They turn out to go stale pretty quickly. They're not such good things. The things that just happen because they happened, those often turn out to be really great things. Just because you felt good and wanted to take a walk in a park and listen to the birds sing, or try out your new sled. You live in Canada, so there's a lot of snow and ice and stuff. It's whatever it is you want to do, or even go volunteer someplace. Just do something that's nice, that's helpful. Yeah, that should raise your spirits and make you feel better. And just don't care about the details so much. They'll work themselves out. Now, that doesn't mean you should be foolish. It's like, oh, well, if that's the case, I'll just spend all my money I have and I'll eat dirt tomorrow. That's not a good idea. You still have to be aware and make good choices, make rational choices. But you don't have to carry a lot of baggage around constantly just churning and churning and churning on all the things that aren't the way you want them to be. That's the part that grinds people into depression.
Mm-hmm. Yes, always trying to control and manipulate. Yeah, that's the lessons we get to learn when we, because we all know that does not feel good, no matter what. When you're trying to manipulate something, you that's the opposite of feeling good, because you're trying to, I don't know, force something, trying to make something happen. Yeah,
it's much better to let things happen, and then the good things just happen on their own, and most of the bad things don't happen at all, because you're not trying to push it.
Perception may change that, oh, wait a minute, maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe that's just a lesson, or maybe that's just, something I needed to see, hear, feel, whatever. Fears. Our fears really can really throw us on a path that will not lead us to where we want to go. If we just realized the fear was what is motivating our choices and decisions.
It's true. If you have fear, then you're going to have problems. And you're going to have problems in proportion to how much fear you have.
Yeah.
And if you have fear, then that limits your capacity for love. The more fear you have, the less capable you are of giving and loving. The more self-centered you are, it's all about you. So fear is the thing you need to get rid of in order to make everything work out good for yourself. But if you say, I'm going to get rid of this fear so that I get all the happy stuff, well, that's not really the right attitude either.
No.
You want to get rid of that fear because that's the right thing to do. You want to be helpful and kind because that's the right thing to do. And you want to do the right thing, not because you're looking for a reward at the end. If it's all about getting a reward, then that's manipulation. Oh, I can manipulate the world to give me happy endings. Well, let me get at it. That's not the point. You have to be it. You can't just pretend to be it. You have to really be it. But then everything just works out.
Yeah. That whole make it till you fake it till you make it sort of thing. It sometimes we need it. If we're depressed and we're really stuck, sometimes we do need to sort of fake it to try and get ourselves out, maybe. Because if you are at a very low vibration, it's really hard to think of happy thoughts and joyful things.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fake it until you make it is possibly a first step.
Yeah.
Acting better, not being better, but just acting better. Acting better is civilizing to, everybody else around you likes it better if you act better. So it makes everyone like you better, which is a good step in the right direction if you're being positive. But some people say, you shouldn't fake it till you make it. You just have to make it. But I say, well, use whatever works. If you just fake it and then just keep faking it and then you're still faking it and you never make it, all you do is fake it, that won't work. You'll end up miserable. Even if you try to act cheery, you won't be very happy. So you have to change who you are on this path. Not just change an attitude, but live that changed attitude. Be it. That's what's important. And if you don't feel that Christmas spirit that Lori just introduced, that's hanging out there around this time of year, particularly, then you should try to feel it in a meditation. Next time you meditate, you get in a really good meditation time. Just reach out for Christmas. It's not a particular thing. It's just the concept. It's the concept of Christmas, the spirit of Christmas, the generosity of Christmas, the giving, the children who are all wound up with visions of sugar plums dancing in their heads or whatever that was. Yeah, it's that kind of joy and happiness, and you find that all the time.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that we've done the full hour, but we're probably getting close. I think this is a nice place to stop.
Yeah, we did just about. We started on a half hour, pretty close.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. It's probably too late to start anything new.
Exactly. So we'll just say, have a wonderful holiday season. We will be back just before the new year. Probably will come out after the new year or close to it. So we'll talk about New Year's intentions instead of resolutions. I know that we kind of get caught up in that, but for right now, just, I don't know, close your eyes, take a breath, and just visualize.
Feel Christmas in your soul. Feel Christmas, at a deep level. And what does it feel like? It just feels good. It just feels like a little girl giggling. It feels just nice. And you can hold it there just as long as you want.
Exactly.
It's that. You never did anything more than that. That would improve your life. If you just did that for, a half an hour a day. That would remarkably, change your life in a very strong way. And we're not asking people to sacrifice their pinky finger or something. We're asking them to feel good. Come on. I'm asking you to feel good and happy for half an hour a day. That's
5 minutes even.
5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, if Tom can go through all the stuff that he went through, even though he didn't have to technically go through it because he was away in Costa Rica having a great time, but if he can go through all of that and still feel that magic, just know that we all can. Know that it's just there for all of us. Feel the love. Yes, just feel. Just feel. I mean, that's if you felt, then you would also know when if you were actually honestly feeling, then you would also know when you're feeling uncomfortable, and then you can shift that, because feeling is probably the major part, but we're not going to get into something new. Yes. All right. You've been listening to News for the Heart. We'll be getting to the heart of what matters with Tom Campbell, and feeling the Christmas magic, feeling the Christmas spirit. All right. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Lori.